Alright everyone, you're now looking at the team select for the third place match, which is U-Type as blue team versus Oof as the purple team. Bans from U-Type have been Amumu and Malgai, and they are currently working on the third ban, while Oof has already banned out Lee Sin and Malphite. Third ban for U-Type is going to be Blitzcrank, a champion that has been banned out several times so far this tournament. And Timo gets banned out by Oof, which is quite a surprise. I'm sure Valkyries will not be happy to see Timo getting banned. And now we move over to picks, with U-Type immediately picking up Ezreal. However, Oof seems to be thinking about who to play mid. They have an Orianna and a Fizz selected. Let's see if this does actually get locked in now. The Orianna is changing to Sona. It would be pretty cool if we see a Fizz mid though. This has been locked in. Unless, of course, Oof are Savage defense, in which case we'll see an Atmog jungle Fizz. I'm not getting my hopes up, but it would be quite entertaining to watch. And we also have a Jarvan lock-in. This is being contracted by U-Type instantly picking up Turek, which means that they're gonna have a pretty standard lane of Ezreal Turek bottom. I hope to God that they actually do have pink Turek for a change. But one can only hope. And Shen getting picked up as well, who actually has not been banned this game. He's been banned for most of the other games this tournament, so if it is a Shen, it might be a Shen Jarvan top lane, which passive enough now. Nocturne maybe? Well, if they 5 seconds left, I wonder if they're gonna lock in Nocturne or if they were actually gonna go back to. No, they are staying with Nocturne, so Nocturne and jungle for U-Type. How will Oof react to this? I wonder.
Do those have a pink Taric or not?
I don't know, we're still in team select.
Oh god.
But Oof doesn't seem to know what they want. There's 10 minutes left on the timer and they still haven't selected anyone. Oh, they have picked up Vayne and Nidalee. So I'm assuming this is going to be a Vayne Nidalee bot lane. Depending on their fifth pick, it might actually also be Bruiser Nidalee top and Jarvan jungle. But A-Type has picked Rice to counter Fizz. It's probably a good shout. If you combine him before he gets the jump off, you can actually do some damage on him. Oh no, they switched out the Rice for an Eri, and their fifth pick is going to be a Singed solo top by the looks of it. Nope, they went back to the Rice. They don't seem to know what they want. They actually went for the Rice and for the Singed. Now, and we are getting a ram this pick. Is it going to be locked in or? Apparently there's also fireworks going on in my neighborhood. Excuse me. Right, they actually did not go for rams, but they picked up Alistair, which means that we're gonna see Jonathan in the jungle, and a Vayne Alistair bottom, which is going to be an absolutely massive amount of CC if Vayne can get a condemn off after Alistair gets a headbutt pulverize combo. This also leaves very, very neatly top. Let's quickly look at her runes and masteries to see what kinds of setup she's going with. She is going for AP runes, actually also for AP mastery, so it is not bruiser niddly. It is going to be an AP niddly top against Singed. Not entirely sure how well that's going to go, but we do have a Rise versus Fizz mid, and like I said before, Rise can just bind Fizz before he jumps on his staff. Nocturne in the jungle is going to be quite dangerous, especially in combination with a Taric if he can get a stun off later on, or bites from Rise and then Nocturne ulting in on them. But we'll see. However, I do think that we're gonna have to keep our eyes on bottom because that's gonna be a very aggressive lane with CC coming out of both teams, but especially coming out of Ufuf's team with the Alistair Vayne combination. We're just waiting for spectator delay to run down, and then we'll be heading into the game. And we are off. If I just switch to the right scene. Nope, right. We are setting up to watch Oof as the purple team versus you type as blue team in the bronze final. Judging by the skins, I would say they're about even because Unchained Alistair doesn't really count as a skin since everyone can get it for free. Although, I have to give bonus points for having Eternum Nocturne. It is quite the beast of a skin.
Unfortunately, I cannot spectate. I receive an error, so I will have to.
Are you getting an error when you try to spectate me, or?
Yeah, to you. I don't know why. And I will try to start my client, the typical ones. Otherwise, I will just watch the stream via Twitch. A bit of latency.
It's about, I'd say about 12 seconds behind.
Yeah. Anyways, since it's not Pink Tariq, I'm already disappointed. But anyway, I will try to do my best. I would like to see some different combos playing.
Well,
rather than the typical. I mean, I'm really sick from the last season seeing Ezreal.
Oh, it was a bit limited as to what we saw last season.
Yeah.
Especially the World Finals were a bit, I wouldn't say disappointing, but you did see pretty much all of the same champions being picked every game.
Exactly, but mostly as usual, we're waiting for the really high-elo players to experiment first.
Oh yes.
Our beloved Asians who are not afraid of experimenting and doing crazy stuff, and afterwards, we discover awesome things.
Actually, from the looks of it, we are going to see Fizz solo top and Nelly mid.
You think so? Will be something.
Yes, Jarvan Vayne are just protecting his blue buff, along with Nidley, while Fizz has already positioned himself into the tri-bush top. Blue team is also just defending their blue with Dench, Taric, and Nocturne. Ezreal is hovering around mid to make sure that no enemies pause there. And however, Ezreal is recalling now, so he might just recall to pick up the 4th health potion, as he did start with recent pods. Yeah, we do see him go for the 4th health potion. Jarvan and Nocturnal both starting on their wolves. Pretty much mirrored jungle at the moment. They are both getting some help from the close lane and mid. So
Don't expect anything now.
I'm not expecting anything aggressive early on. Jarvan just took his blue and Nocturne just took his. And it is Nelly meeting Ryzen mid, while Fizz is indeed top against against Singed. Alistair, however, is moving around and is letting Vayne be on her own for the first minute of the game. Vayne does get stunned by Turk, and a lot of damage is getting put up. She had to cleanse out of the stun, and actually had to flash away as well because she got exhausted. However, Alistair has rejoined her now, and she is using health potions to get back up. Ryze is doing a fair amount of damage on Nidley with a bind and a Q, but Nelly can just heal herself up. Both junglers are just in their own jungle, clearing it. Nocturne did just take his red and is now going for his wolves again, while Jarvan is skipping red and going for golems into red. Although now he's bypassing his red and he is probably just going to go for his wolves. We can see in the first few minutes of the game that everything is relatively even. No immediate differences in CS. Although Ezreal is taking a small lead onto Vayne, who does have a big wave pushing into her turret, so if she can just lost it on her turret, she will be fine.
We'll see how Ezreal is going to... I don't know. Because Star is a bit behind. He could really mess up the heal. This means small heal, it depends.
Yes.
On the creeps, the last hitting for Ezreal, so maybe we'll see shortly an advantage in Vayne's farming. Also, Vayne should... I don't know. I think that this lane should be dominated by them because they play really well defensively.
It is going to be a case of defend the Vayne though. Alistair is going to do his best to get Vayne into late game where she does shine with her percentage base through down to me. While we see Nocturne ganking Nidalee, who did flash out, but since she get exhausted, it was Nocturne and Rice picking up a quick burst blood onto Nidalee. And we can see Fizz and Singe trying to trade some damage, but currently Singe is getting out on top of those trades.
Maybe they were destroyed. I have a bit of latency comparing to you because I'm watching the stream via Twitch,
yes.
like the guys, because I can't... I still can't enter.
Jarvan did come for a gank, but Singe ghosted and was clean. Alistair and Vayne are actually pushing back onto Ezreal Turek.
Vayne indeed having a bit easier farming than Ezreal currently. And I think it will...
However, Ezreal still has all his potions left, while Vayne has had to use all of them. So, if some aggression is going to happen, Ezreal can stay in lane longer, if need be, and just make good on that farm. We
have, on the other hand, we have Alistair, he's full of mana.
We can see that they are not really trying to go for each other. Both, but Alistair takes a third shot there. I would say Nidalee is fighting against a Ryze, but she does not have any allied minions, so Ryze's minions were doing... Oh, and that is a flash from Ryze, who just killed Nidalee on her turret. However, he had to use flash and barrier to survive it.
He's trying to do, I think, the typical armor mana.
Yes.
Build, possibly. Yeah. Very well played there, very well calculated. I think he didn't even... he wasn't sure if he would survive, but he went for it. It was really good and risky.
Well, regardless, getting a kill, even if you trade it 1 for 1.
Yeah, it's very good of us. I agree. I'm totally up to Jar Dive and I love it. And I like when people try that.
It's even more fun when they try to do it on you and you just turn around and you get a double kill out of it. But Ezreal just hit level 6 and actually is doing a lot of damage onto the Alistair. However, Alistair just absolutely flashed out of his ultimate, but Tarek's stun was just too strong and did pick up the kill on Alistair. We can see Fizz actually went for the recurve bow as his first item, so we are going to see attack speed Fizz. Which is something new, I'd say.
Wow, that was amazing. Yeah, very, very well played by Alistair. Almost escaped.
Rise just got donated blue from Nocturne. And Turek is actually just zoning out Vayne at the moment. Who, without Alistair, has to be very careful. As getting stunned by Turek and Arcane shifted upon by Ezreal will do a lot of damage. She is, however, trying to trade damage back as much as possible wherever she can. And she is doing a fairly decent amount of getting the silver bolts onto them. Meanwhile, we see that in mid lane, Ryze has stocked up on potions and a few wards, and is currently, I would say, dominating, but is getting quite ahead on farm in comparison to Nidalee.
Apparently, yeah. The thing is that still the two junglers are not exactly the early gankers, so we have to see.
We do see Jarvan going in on top, but he.
Right, yeah, but really what is needed is mid to start doing some stuff. Yes. It's really difficult because it's warded at that levels. It's really difficult to get a good gank mid, but they have to try.
Jarvan went in, but that was a good counter by Nocturne, who just ultied in and killed the Fizz.
Yeah.
Under turret. Sadly enough, Jarvan did miss his flag combo and did not knock
that was a very good timing by Nocturne. Very good timing by Nocturne.
And once again, we see Ryze and Nidalee trading damage, but Nidalee's out of mana and has to just catform pounce out of there because the damage coming out of Ryze is just too much with his Tear of the Goddess and nearly completed Catalyst. However, Purple Team does have a better late game team, especially with Jarvan, who will be just a tanky body and dealing damage, and Nidalee, who can poke people down with her spears, and of course Vayne, that once she gets some attack speed and a few points in Tumble and in Silver Bolts, she will just be outputting a lot of damage. However, if Ryze can keep up this advantage, they are going to have a fair amount of damage coming out of Ryze. Especially when he activates his ultimate, it is going to at least take down half. And there you see Ryze's damage actually being massive. However, he does pick up Jarvan by flashing after him. But then Nidalee comes and picks up Jarvan, and picks up Ryze. We do see Alistair and Vayne heading towards top to give Fizz a hand, but since there's a ward in the bush, they are just backing off. Meanwhile, Alistair headbutts Nocturne away, who tried to fear him. But Alistair is stuck here between Singed and Tarek, and he will probably die to them. Even wasting exhaust there, which was not the best idea ever. And there we see Blue Buff picking up the kill on Vayne, and actually Nocturne getting a double kill on Vayne and Nidalee, who he does bolts towards the turret, but nothing really happens from it. We will see Blue Team probably set up for a dragon here, as Vayne and Nidalee are both dead.
Yeah, the things are pretty difficult right now for the Purple Team.
Ryze is just backing away a bit to make sure that they can't try and steal. He walks past Fizz and Fizz just dies instantly to Ryze, who is probably the most fit person in the game right now. Especially damage-wise, he did finish off his Sorcerer's Shoes, and he also finished off his Catalyst. We can see Ezreal and Vayne trading some damage bottom, but since the supports weren't there, not a lot happened.
Italy, right now she can't really farm efficiently. What she could probably try to roam and be constantly chopper meat.
I'm not convinced about this Fizz. I mean, the Wit's End will not really do an awful lot damage-wise. While his W does deal percentage damage, it doesn't overlap, so once it starts ticking, it just refreshes itself. It won't do extra damage. We see some damage getting done to Tarek, who got knocked back and knocked up by Ezreal and condemned, but he just ults and decides to deter purple team from actually engaging on him. 14 minutes into the game, we see a 6k gold lead for blue team, so it is going to be quite difficult for Oof to turn it around. Bryce once again getting a bind on someone and bursting a lot of damage on him. However, Jarvan managed to flag combo out of it. Nelly going very low, but just saying it. Oh, and there we see Nocturne ultimate onto the Alistair. Assuming it was a misclick and that he wanted to hit the Vayne. Vayne just ultied, but she is getting turret dived and just dying to it, with Ezreal and Nocturne both picking up a kill. You can see Fizz coming in onto Singed there and actually shutting him down. Now we have Singed and Nelly both going on the rise, who actually does survive because of barrier, but Jarvan flag combo ultimate onto him to kill. Which means that that is pretty much a free turret in mid for purple. Tarek meanwhile is taking out purple's pink wards and recalling.
It's probably a good opportunity to also rush for top lane. Even though Fizz is a bit low and he's afraid. Normal. Yeah, we say Tarek is trying to clean place down. I mean, they really need tower. At least.
Ideally they need to contest next dragon and actually win a fight on the next dragon and then take it, because currently U-Type can just take down the outer middle turret, and with all the outer turrets down they get an advantage if they push out the lanes. Next time dragon spawns, they can just go towards dragon, and they will see when Ufuf leaves the lanes to try and stop them. We see damage coming out of Fizz. Alistair is going in, but I'm not quite sure he wants to do that. He gets stunned by Tarek, and he is taking a lot of damage from a Nocturne Q and from a bit of damage from Ezreal. As we can see now, Tarek and Ez are positioning themselves towards Dragon. Tarek actually put a ward down, and they are going to try and bait purple near it. They know Vayne's out of position, she gets stunned, but she cleanses out of it and they disengage again. But there's Alistair, who is just dying simply to rise. And we do get Jarvan ulting to make sure that everyone can get away, but Rise picks up the kill on Vayne. Singed slows and flings Jarvan, who gets stunned by Tarek, and then there's Rise, who will finish him. No, he gets flag comboed away, but there's Ezreal to pick up the kill. With two people of purple team dead, they will try to go for middle turret, for the inner one. And with...
That battle was a bit weird. Both teams had very weird and bad positioning.
Yes, but with Nelly out of mana and with Alistair being only level 7, they take the inner turrets easily. And they will go for Dragon now, which means that they have a 4-0 turret lead, and they will have a 2-0 Dragon lead.
Yeah.
Which makes it that not even 20 minutes in the game, they will have over 10k advantage. They will actually have double the golds that the other team has.
Already at 9,000.
Not double, excuse me. They will have 50% more gold than the other team has. They are just cleaning out the jungle. They also stole purple team's blue buff. And with more than 1,000 gold on all of them, they are going back to shop. You can see Ezreal finishing off the Trinity Forest, Nocturne finishing off the Black Cleaver, Ezreal even picking up an extra pickaxe. It is going to be very, very, very difficult for Purple to turn this around.
I think in terms of farming, they were decent, apart from Jarvan, who left a bit behind. The jungle and decide to try to hit the lanes because all lanes are down, but unfortunately it was already too late. They have lots better scenery. I'm afraid against Dali wasn't a very wise choice right now, or I don't know. It wasn't very efficient against Ryze. I mean,
nor Fizz. That Fizz top is just not paying off.
Good, but it was really difficult because, to be honest, it's Singed. If they had a Yorick, for example, it would be much easier for them. Control lane and be, you know, we know that Singed, if he's top, he can just easily push. He could be countered by a Yorick or a strong pusher that could actually control lane. But unfortunately, he couldn't. And it's
a bruiser in Italy would have actually been able to at least contain Singed.
I think possibly if they switched lanes and Fizz was made against Ryze and Nidalee top, possibly they could have done something different. I don't know. Maybe it was a bit. It should be a bit more versatile, and they saw that it wasn't working well for none of the two teams because I think Fizz lost first his lane.
Fizz lost his lane because he just does not have enough damage early on.
Yeah, so they should have tried to exchange. I mean, if Nidalee could poke lots better, be more efficient in poking Singed, whereas Fizz more easily tried to avoid Ryze's damage.
Yes. I mean, I'm liking to see champions played in different roles.
Yeah, but you know, it was easy, but they haven't thought of it. When you have a plan in your head, sometimes you have to make a decision, a critical decision, and say, okay, let's go this way, and we see.
Yeah.
You must not always stick to the plan if you see that it's not working.
No. Fizz is just doing very little. He has some farm, yes, but if all he does with the farm is buy a Wit's End, which doesn't really give you all that much damage, then it is a bit disappointing. And especially the Alistair is just massively behind. He is still level 8, whereas the enemy team is at least level 11. Ezreal's level 12, Ryze is level 14, Singed as well. They are 6 levels ahead of Alistair. They just have to look at him funny and he dies.
Well, I'm always, you know, I never care about the support pretty much. The level of support, as long as he's warding and he's doing his job. I see that Alistair, for example, in this game, he wards and is more efficient as a support than in previous games that we saw some, you know,
I'll agree that level doesn't quite matter for a support, but when you are 6 levels behind...
It is a problem, sure, but at least he tries to ward, you know, the lanes were lost really early, so he couldn't have the luxury of
that is, however,
helping.
Tarek getting very low to Baron, and Vayne picking up the kill, but what...
I think it's not enough.
Vayne actually managed to steal Baron, but Alistair died to it. Excuse me, now Vayne picked up Ezreal. Not sure. Well, regardless, purple team did steal Baron, and they got 2 kills out of it, but Vayne died, Nidalee died, Alistair died, and Fizz and Jarvan can't really stop them.
It was a total massacre.
Some damage is getting down on Bryce, he dies, but then you just have Singed, who is taking no damage whatsoever. And I'm not sure why, but Jarvan is running away, is not fighting Nocturne, who's out of mana, and he is actually just gonna die to Singed and Nocturne. Singed has... someone asked me how much HP Singed has. Singed has 3,200 HP. It is going to be absolutely difficult to take him down.
I know, Singed is a person they shouldn't even, you know, take under consideration in these battles. He should be simply ignored. But unfortunately...
Singed just...
they don't have anyone to focus. If you think about it, they can't really focus anyone. Ezreal escapes really easily. It's extremely difficult for them to reach him.
They need to make sure Ryze dies as fast as possible.
Yeah, I believe he should be the #1 target. Don't forget that Ryze though is really cautious. He has also...
he has that Banshees, he has that Chainmail.
Yeah, he's got this amount of armor, yeah. I think it's difficult too. Meanwhile, the Avs are not just sitting, watching, so they are really difficult. For example, they have a Nocturne, who has decent items too, already.
Now a new type just picked up another dragon, pretty much uncontested. Alistair gets stunned by Tarek, and Singed is doing damage on him. He is going to get away with his ultimate, but nah, there's Nocturne flanking. Nocturne already has a GA. Nocturne just ults, and not a lot happening here, but Fizz tries to ult Ezreal. He does flash Urchin Strike into him and actually picks up the kill on Ezreal. But Fizz now is fighting, and there's Jarvan diving on Nocturne and Tarek. Tarek flashes over the wall, escaping, and they just disengage at this point. But Singed and Nocturne want to go in again, but they disengage as well. This was one kill in favor of but not sure if that's enough. They do however jump on Ryze, who is gonna die pretty much instantly. Ufuf is now grouping as a team of 5 and making sure the area is warded, making sure everything's warded quite well. I can see 5 wards from one team and one screen, so good job them. But I'm just not sure how this is gonna progress. They have a 10k gold lead.
It is a bit late and don't have a particular pusher. I mean, there is no one from their team that could actually make a difference and side push right now. Their lanes are pretty pushed. They haven't taken any towers yet, as I can see.
No, Ezreal can ult a lane to try and lower the minions, but that's about it.
No, I'm talking about the purple team. The blue team.
Sorry, yes.
They are
sorry.
in a already.
Nidalee can push.
But I think.
In cat form, she can take out a relatively decent amount of minions, and she can go across the map fast. But
in this situation, the best decisions that they could have made is switching early lanes with Fizz. And right now, Nida she should have given up the build with the AP build and go for AD.
yes,
in this game, because right now she's really useless.
And we actually see
Pretty much.
Fizz going for a Blade of the Ruined King.
Yeah.
Which is... Oh,
He could
'cause
also be a bit murky right now.
Nocturne is kind of a... Nocturne is caught out of position. But they just had to waste a lot of things to get to GA down. And meanwhile the rest of the team arrives, picks up the kill on Vayne. Nocturne does die to Jarvan, and Jarvan actually knocks all of them up, but then Singe just picks up Nidalee, Ezreal picks up Jarvan, and Fizz gets bound by Ryze, and he is just getting out. He might... No, he's not even taking Ezreal with him, because he gets healed by Terry. This was a 1 for 5.
Wow. Not is for the first time down. And Singed.
Yes.
But Nocturne has a...
Nocturne had the GA.
817. Huge...
Nocturne and Ryze have just been able to bat out so much damage this game that purple team cannot really reply. Their tank has been a bit behind all game. Both Alistair
Nidalee,
and
you see, is still going for AP. She's insisting.
Yes.
We see that he's slowly doing some armor, is building some defensive items. Something versatile. He might want to go now, but I think it's already a bit late. Today the games, I think, were pretty linear. They had a certain, in some cases, all the teams trying their best. But unfortunately, I see people being afraid of experimenting and changing their minds even last minute. You can always switch build, you can always switch positions and lanes and do something crazy.
I'd say purple team tried with putting Fizz top and Nidalee AP mid, but it did not pay off for them, or at least not in the way that they expected. The spears are doing some damage, but Terry can just heal all the poke up.
Yeah, they are, but if they weren't efficient from early game, really efficient, and giving her the opportunity of killing constantly Ryze mid, so that she could actually afterwards roam a lot on sidelines and deal some decent amounts of damage now it's too late. So taking this under consideration, just change your build last minute, or you do something, or make a crazy push, for example, top, when nobody expects, and whatever happens, you know, try something.
Especially because her build is focused on magic penetration. Nidalee has no defenses.
Yeah.
If she had
and she deals no damage enough for what they have right now.
She should have gone for an Abyssal Scepter if she did want to go for the AP route. The Abyssal would have at least protected her from Ryze a little bit. We do see Jarvan with the Runic Bulwark, but it is just not enough magic resist to stop. We also see Singed going in on Vayne, and Ryze and Ezreal catching up with them. And Vayne just Ciorti, she tried to get away, but there is just too much damage and too much CC with the Taric and the Singed and the Ryze. They are going for the top turrets and inhibitor now.
Wow, look at the Ryze's damage is unbelievable. It's ridiculous.
I do believe that we are going to see them finish, or actually Baron respawned. So I'm assuming Blue will go for Baron, pick it up, shop, and then go for one final push.
I hope this is a very good lesson for them to realize that it's not about always picks. It's not about always bad positioning or bad team battles, because, for example, in this game, the purple team had pretty decent positioning and team battles. They were not doing any particular mistakes. Their main mistake was that they were seeing that something was not going well, and they were insisting in the same laning and the same the things as they planned. It's a really good opportunity for to probably revise some things and be more versatile. Try to experiment a bit more. Be a bit more. They started playing a bit passively, which is normal. They were scared.
I would have liked to see a lane swap coming from purple team between Fizz could probably farm under turrets against Ezreal and Taric, and Alistair and Vayne should be enough to keep Singed in control. But just the normal lane setup did not work for them. If they were able to keep Singed under control, that would have meant Jarvan could have ganked mids to give Natalie the advantage, but it has just not been happening. We see that Nocturne's GA is up again, they just take Baron again, they just take their dragon again. They are 14,000 gold ahead.
Still, I like very much the fact that they're trying, they are not giving up. They are very efficient still in farming, the purple team, they are really doing their best.
Yeah, especially Vayne is ahead.
Yeah, Vayne has an amazing. Imagine, despite of her death, it's 1-7. She has, she's also ahead. She has an amazing farming.
But if you take all global goal into account, it is just she cannot fight Ezreal.
I think she should already have. Instead of going for Zero, for example, she should have gone for GA. Definitely after the Infinity.
Yes.
More important to have a survivability right now.
But you see, she is caught out of position again, and now Nilly gets bound. The damage rise is putting out cannot be negated.
Believable. Yeah.
You can see them taking the inhibitor again. Jarvan ults everyone. It's some damage from the turret, but just Ezreal's ultimate across all of them nearly killed everyone as well.
I think Vayne shouldn't have gone for this. She should have stopped with ZL just for the basic attack speed, yeah, and not go with it for the whole Phantoms right now. It wasn't a good idea. If she had taken the or a bit of the armor, you know, it would be really significant, I think.
Yeah, but as one might expect, they just pushed down one inhibitor, the 2 Nexus turrets and the Nexus. So that means that U-Type will take 3rd place, and that Oof Oof will take